Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 184 of the RRBG Podcast. The RRBG Podcast is a proud member of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com to check out the list of amazing shows on our network, including the Sofa King Podcast and Art and Jacob Do America, which I was recently a guest on. Check out the website, make sure you leave reviews, and support the network. This episode is brought to you by El Yucateco Hot Sauce. Chances are, if you've ever been to a Mexican restaurant in your life, you've seen one of these bottles on their tables. Either the red or the green chile verde sauce. Their salsa picante is a staple. It goes great with tacos and quesadillas, but also other food, like burgers and chicken wings. Hell, if you go to their website, you can actually see a video from their YouTube channel on how to make a fantastic Bloody Mary mix using the sauce. They've been doing this for over 50 years, and like I said, it is a staple. So go ahead and check out shopelucateco.com and use the promo code RRBG to get 10% off. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Killcliff, my personal favorite CBD recovery drink in the market today. They've got some delicious flavors like the new Strawberry Days or the Orange Kush. Go to their website, killcliff.com right now and check it out. They've also got the Ignite Clean Caffeine Energy Drink with 150 milligrams of caffeine. And that also comes in a great assortment of flavors as well. Check them out. Make sure you go to killcliff.com for more information. And finally, this episode is brought to you by Saints Joints. They make premier, top-shelf pre-rolled joints in these incredible artistic packages. You can go to their website, saintsjoints.com, right now to check them out. They're my favorite to bring out to parties or when I go to the comedy store to hang out. Everybody is always blown away by the artwork and the quality of the joints themselves. They also have pure CBD pre-rolls as well if you're not into the THC and just want to take part in some of the healing properties of the plant. We recently collaborated with Saints Joints and created a special playlist featuring music from some of the past guests on the show. Go to their Instagram page right now at saints_joints and check it out. Or go to their website, saintsjoints.com, to pick up some pre-rolls and some awesome merch. In this episode, I talked to the legendary Max Cavalera. He's part of Killer Be Killed, who's got a new album coming out November 20th on Nuclear Blast Records called Reluctant Hero. We talk about how the band finalized their lineup. We talk about the writing process for the record. We talk about his other projects that he has, including a new Soulfly record and the Max tracks that he's doing on Facebook, where he goes over old Sepultura, Soulfly, and Nailbomb tracks. It was a real honor having him on the show, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Please make sure you check out that new Killer Be Killed, Reluctant Hero. I already picked up the vinyl on pre-order, and you should too. And please, don't forget to check out our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/RRBG and support. Cheers. What's up, everyone? I'm here with Max Cavalera. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be talking to you.
It's good to talk to you too, man. You're a legend in the metal world, so it's an honor to have you on. You have a new record out with Killer Be Killed coming out November 20th on Nuclear Blast. It's called Reluctant Hero.
Yep, we're very excited for it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how does it feel to be releasing a record right now during a time where, music is kind of hurting. There's no shows, there's no concerts, no festivals. So how has it been different to any other album release that you've had so far?
Yeah, I think we when we made the record, because we spent around 6 years on this record, on all in all. But we end up finishing it in January. That's where we made all the vocals, and then we mixed and everything. That was before the pandemic hit, and then everything got shut down. And then there was a question, the label had to kind of propose a question, do we want to, wait till next year to release the record? I was really against that. I was like, nah, let's release it now. I think people need music now more than ever, especially without live shows. So I'm very pleased that we are releasing it in November. I wish it was even earlier than that, but it's kind of cool. It's still early enough November, and we kind of kept it real secret. Nobody knew this album was coming, which was kind of rare. Mm-hmm. How secretive we end up keeping this thing was crazy. Like nobody knew. Like when we dropped that first song, it was a surprise for everybody. I think everybody in the world just went, "Whoa!" I thought this band was done. You know, I didn't knew there was more music coming from these guys. So that was kind of nice. You know, like to keep that little suspense, excitement around the first track when it came out, and we're very much looking forward for. You know, I think by now a lot of people have heard the record. I like a lot of the diversity of the album. I think the album really stretch out songs that are 7 minutes long, and then there are songs that are 1 minute long. So we kind of we just did what we wanted to do. You know, one of those kind of records that you just do whatever the hell you want to, and it feels great.
Yeah, man. I got a chance to hear the whole thing, and very, I would say experimental, but it's not. It's maybe it's experimental for people that are expecting a certain sound, because that's one thing that I've noticed. With a band like this, like a supergroup as they call it. There's certain expectations that people have with like the band members. Like, okay, you have the guy from Dillinger, you got the guy from Converge, you got the guy from Mastodon, so it's gonna sound something like this. But this kind of it has its own sound, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, and that we realized that when we made the first record. I think that was like the initial shock was kind of like we didn't really knew what this thing was gonna be. I mean, I started the idea with Greg. It was just me and him first. And then eventually when Troy joined the band and then we had Dave, it kind of became this kind of like super group. And everything was really new and exciting. And not even I knew what the hell this thing was going to sound like, until we made that first record. And then what I realized was like knowing the guys a lot better now, I really thought in my heart that we could make a better second record, a more focus with more involvement of everybody. And that's what this record has. Everybody's way more involved on all the parts. So everybody's playing a big role in this. And then the collective sound of the band, and it feels like a real band too. That doesn't feel like a project, it doesn't feel like a side project. It feels like a real group, which I think is nice. It's kind of nice to have that feeling of the guys that go there, because we did it all together. We jam here, we went in the studio all together. There was no file sharing, none of that new shit that people do these days. It was all old school. I mean, I mailed them a CD in the mail.
Nice.
They got it in the mail. They're like, Max, you can send this by computer. I was like, I know, I want to send you guys by mail. Yeah, I think that's more that's more OG. That's more like it keeps it more real. So I thought that was cool. And then of course we recorded all together. Like all our heroes are done. Maiden, Sabbath. It's all the guys, everybody together in the studio and sharing all the ideas and bringing the songs and the whole picture of the whole record together. So I'm extremely happy with the final result of the record. I think it's really, like I said, deep, covers a lot of different ground and a lot of stuff that for me it's very exciting because I don't really play those kind of riffs on Soulfly or Cavalera. I get to do more of those on Killer BQ. I have more freedom to really go wild on the riffs and do riffs that they coming from more melodic kind of side. And then I also put in some of my more trademark Max riffs in there. So it's a lot of fun making this kind of records.
Yeah. I mean, when you guys were trying to come up with the music, was there something in mind? Like, I know that especially with like the new video that came out, you can hear that. I forget the name of the song, the newest video that you guys released.
Dream Gone Bad.
Yes, that one. You can really hear, like, you hear Troy's vocals and it's very uniquely Troy. Like you hear that's Troy. And then when Greg does his parts, it's very Greg and everybody has their moment to shine. But When you were trying to write the music itself, was there something in mind? Like, hey, we're going to do something a little more like a Alice in Chains, something a little bit more heavy, something, you know, like, was there a direction that you guys wanted to go, or did you just kind of jam?
Just kind of jam, but it was really cool because some of those riffs, like the Dream Gone Bad, the opening riff, is one of my riffs that surprised Troy and Greg a lot. They were like, "Well, I didn't know you wrote those kind of things." You know, this is like really, really out of. It doesn't sound like a Max riff, and the actual riff that sounds like my riff, that's actually Troy's riff that I'm singing on his part.
Nice.
And so that's kind of cool. That's like kind of like what we do in this band is everybody sings on each other's riffs and parts. And people sometimes claim if you hear a riff that you really like, you can claim it. You have to be first though. You got to be quick, and,
Nice.
and you got to go. I claim this is my riff. Can I sing on this? All right, I got it. You know. Yeah.
That's
so
really cool.
I had a couple claimers on this one. Greg he's a claim hog. He's always hogging whatever he can, and then a couple was the one with Troy. Also, sometimes suggestive stuff. You know, I write a riff. There is a super heavy riff, like on the first song we did, Deconstruction, Self-Destruction. Mm-hmm. The opening riff is super heavy, like a chugging kind of riff. And I said, I don't think I should sing on this because if I sing on this, it's exactly what people are expecting. But if Troy sings on it, and you can sing a little bit different, that way this riff and your voice, it'll be something new and exciting, and that exactly what happened. And I have to say, Troy's voice is fucking amazing on this record, man. He's singing better than ever. It's really, really great stuff.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I've been following Troy from the very beginning of Mastodon, and it's great to see the evolution too, because, you know, he started off, it was all screams, and then little by little introducing more singing, and he keeps pushing the boundaries that, you know, and with his other group, Gone is Gone, you know, like he's really pushing himself to hit new notes and new ranges that I've not heard from him before. So, and it's apparent on this album, man. It's really great. I wanted to ask, you know, there's a difference in the lineup from the first album to this one. I mean, Dave is not there anymore on the drums. My buddy Juan is not in the group. So I wanted to ask more or less, like, how did you guys decide, like, who's going to be in the group for the second record? How, you know, why the change in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, drum-wise was obvious. We needed a powerful drummer. We needed a big hitter. And Ben was the choice. Was all of us choices. We all love Converge. I'm a big fan of all of Ben's projects. You know, All Pigs Must Die, and Mutoid Man. That guy's a beast. You know, so he was like the obvious choice. And we played with him in Australia. You know, we took him to Australia with us. The thing with Juan, I don't know. He was more of a guest. He was never officially in the band. I love Juan. Juan is a great guy. I just don't think we never really officially made him a full-on guest. He was kind of a full-on member. He was more of a guest. And on this one, Greg was really doing a lot of lead work. You know, he was really working on his leads, and we gave him a shot, you know, to do the leads on the record. So, and he did great. And I think, you know, the guitar stuff that Greg came up with on the record is really cool. That we really didn't need it to go outside the four of us, and that kind of felt also that more of a group, like four guys doing the stuff. So I think that's why it ended up being like that, honestly. But I think Ben is kind of like a really important component in Killer Be Kill.
Yeah.
Because he really brings a lot of dimension to it. Like when he wants to go super crazy fast, he does that. And when he got to bring it back and just be in the pocket, he can do that too. He's an amazing, amazing drummer and a great guy too. So it was really fun having him on this record to record. I ended up even doing a song that was just pretty much me and him, which is Animus. which is 1 minute, and it was like I wanted to just write a full-on Reaper, influenced by Extreme Noise Terror and Discharge and Cannibal Corpse kind of song, like no bullshit. A minute, maybe if it's more than a minute, it's too much. So we went for that, and Ben helped me build that song. We did it together, and it was really cool.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Ben's my favorite active drummer, I think, right now. Just not just the ability that he has, but, like you said, he's a good guy. He's always positive. You watch a Converge show, which is like, really intense music, really heavy, really fast and crazy. And, it gives you a vibe of anger. But then you look at Ben and he's back there smiling. It's great,
Yeah. He definitely the right choice for this group. And he's so, he's really excited and thrilled to be part of this, everybody is in the whole group. We all kind of, there's really no egos in this group, which is kind of funny because you expect egos should be popping out of this thing, but there's none, man. We just feel like guys that love each other, guys or the music, and just playing what we love, playing the stuff that we like, and the feeling we get from making the songs and then later playing live. And I hope we can play this record live next year, because I think that would be a waste if we don't get to bring this thing on the tour, because it's a really, really cool record that I think it'll be a lot of fun doing this stuff live.
Yeah, I agree. I hope, things open up. I hope that tour happens, for that. I know that that's going to be complicated too, though, because as soon as things open up, I mean, everybody has a different band too. So I'm sure everybody's going to want to tour all of their stuff. So it's going to be hard to, I guess, coordinate that, but I hope it happens, And I know that this album is not even out yet. It comes out November 20th, but you said you guys have been working on it for 6 years. So is there talks already about another one? Have you guys, maybe haven't written anything, but have you started talking about, doing another one after this one?
No. I mean, we just really spent the whole time on this. In 6 years, a long time. We had these cool sessions. I call them the desert sessions because they all came here in the desert. Phoenix became kind of like Killer BQ's secret headquarters, which is cool to me. Like, I live here, so the guys they just love to come here and jam. I have a real nice jam pad that I had since Sepultura days. So we went and did 4 or 5 of those sessions and wrote everything during the 6 years. Sometimes it would be one session in 1 year. Then the next year we have maybe 2 sessions. From really, really slow, man. I never wrote a record in such a slow pace, which is kind of cool. Makes you kind of look at music a little bit different. That sometimes you can do stuff like that, and it's kind of cool. You just gotta have the patience, and I'm not really a big patient guy, but it pays off. In the end, to have the record that the way it came out, with everybody bringing stuff to the table, and the final result being just feel really real good, and Josh Wilbur production on top of it is really great. Josh always does a great job. So I don't know, we never talk about the third record, but I'm sure eventually we'll get to that at some point,
Yeah. I assume, once this out, and I know it's going to succeed. I was going to say when it comes out, if it succeeds, but I know it will, just because I've already heard it. And the second I finished listening to the whole thing, I went and pre-ordered the vinyl because I was sold,
Right on, man. Appreciate that. That's cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you too, looking at you mentioned Sepultura, and I wanted to see how is your relationship with those guys? I mean, I know that it was a long time ago and everything, and everybody's moved on since, but do you guys still stay in touch? I recently talked to Andreas at NAMM before all this craziness happened, so I was just curious. Do you guys stay in touch and all that?
Not really. It's kind of like when separate ways is that I don't know. It's a bit like um, I never been divorced, but I assume that would be what a divorce is like. You don't really want to see your ex-wife,
Right.
and and you don't want to keep tabs on who she's dating or whatever.
Some
Whatever
people
else
do it,
she's
but that's weird, They get
right.
weird.
Right, but that's my point. Like, so I don't really follow them. It's like whatever they do, it's all right by me, man. It's like I got so much on my plate. It's like I'm plenty busy here that I don't need to be looking at them, be like measuring
Right.
what they are doing to what I'm doing. So yeah, in the end, I think things just kind of like went that way. I'm super proud of the time we had together. We made some magnificent records, man. It's stuff that influences people forever. I get in contact with a lot of young upcoming bands that really love the old stuff. Like guys like from Creeping Death and Necrot. They always mention especially the early era. Bestial Devastation, Morbid Visions, Beneath the Remains, of course, Arise. So it's cool to know that we did those records, but there's so much more to do. I love to stay busy, keep busy. I got as far as like the Sepultura stuff goes, I just do a lot of them on my Max Tracks, which is the thing I do on Facebook every Tuesday and Saturday. It's live, free on Facebook, and I just sit on my couch and play guitar. It's a little bit like a electric guitar campfire without the fire.
Okay.
Yeah, I bring the fire with the riffs, but it's just showing them the riffs, and then I tell stories about what I remember, from those times. So it could be old songs like Inner Self or Escape to the Void or Troops of Doom. And that's the fans seem to really like that. It's done in a very simplistic approach, very similar to how I wrote those songs, because I wrote them on my 4-track in my living room, most of them. So it's a very similar situation where I just play along with the big boombox, and it's we just film with a phone, and people just seem to love it. They don't even care that it's kind of punk rock, and I kind of like that approach. It's kind of like, if you could have high tech the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But I think you would have missed the point. Where the point is, those songs were not really done in a super high tech mode. They were done in a punk rock mode,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pass the same feeling. So yeah, I get to tackle a lot of the old Sepultura stuff on Max Tracks, along with Killer Be Killed, Soulfly, and Cavalera Conspiracy, and Nail Bomb. There's so much music. I decided to do it for the pandemic because everybody's locked down. It's like, let's do something that includes the fans.
Yeah.
And I get to stay busy because it takes 3 days, 2-3 days to prepare for those Max Tracks, to get them right. Remember all the riffs, the right way.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll probably continue doing even after the pandemic, because it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing them. It's a cool thing that we start doing, and it really took off good. We got about 15,000 people watching it live every time we do it.
Wow, that's great.
I'm starting to recognize some of the names. It's like those are the same guys popping every week. There's some loyal members there. So yeah, it's cool. And then I'm working already on a new Soulfly right now with my son Zion.
Nice. I was going to ask, if you had time to do any Soulfly stuff, but yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. We already writing riffs, man. It's cool. I'm really taking the time, and I think this pandemic, the one good thing that came out of it was actually, I think, creative stuff. You're going to see a lot of creation right now. Mm-hmm. People are kind of by force are had to create because there's no other outlet.
Right.
So I'm using the time right now to write new riffs for Soulfly, and eventually next year we get to get them record, get a producer, and get it done. And that's good. I look at that as a positive thing.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to hear that, man. I my old band played a show with you guys in a Culture Room in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay,
and
cool.
It was really cool to, get that opportunity and get to open up for you guys. And, I also noticed that, your wife and yourself, you guys really support, smaller bands and are always out there to, bringing in local talent or, working with newer bands. Is there a new band or a new couple of art? Like, let's say you wanted to make another project like Kill or Be Killed, where you're going to grab people from different groups. Is there people out there right now that you're looking at that you would be like interested in working with?
Yeah, I mean, I love the underground. I always, and when I go on tour, I always tell the techs and everybody, be nice to the opener band. Don't be an asshole,
right.
Because our techs can get a little bit. Sometimes they're stressed out or something, but I always really tell them, somebody gave me a chance. We give them a chance. Be nice, let them play, let them have their fun. This is all part of we're all in the same boat here,
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to be like that. And as far as there's a lot of cool music like right now. I think there's a few like just lately. I love the new Zabalba record. I thought that was great.
Nice.
Tomb Mode. There's this project from Denver, Black Curse, that I love the record. It was my buddy Arthur Risk that produced. So yeah, I could pick, Creeping Death. Also, I got in touch with Trey, and I saw him wearing a Sepultura Schizophrenia shirt on one of their pictures. So I hit him up like, you like that shit? So I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of you guys, man. Let's trade some stuff, So he sent me a bunch of shit. There's also Andrew Lee with Ripped to Shreds, and he's from Taiwan. His parents are from Taiwan, and they're awesome, man. It's kind of like really exciting to hear people doing that kind of old school Entombed era songs right now with that much power. The new Necrot, I thought it was fucking killer. So yeah, there's a lot of cool music being done right now, and I'm even more excited for next year.
Nice, man. Nice. Is there a project that you like, a genre of music? I know you've dabbled into like industrial with Nail Bomb, and but is there like a genre of music that you haven't done before that you're kind of would like to do later on? Like, is there, like straight up black death metal kind of? Because I've seen your vest that you wear. I've seen, like Watain and, that kind of stuff. So would you do something like that? Or is there a genre that you want to explore maybe later on?
Yeah, that would be cool. That's, I know a lot of people from the area, they always come to see us, the guys from Dark Throne and Dark Funeral, Grave, a lot of the Entombed guy, and I like a lot of those bands. I like Ergohol a lot. They covered Funeral Rites. They did an amazing version of it.
Nice.
Watain just recovered Morbid Visions, and I got to hear that, and it was really cool. That's really awesome. Sick. So yeah, in the future, there's a possibility, like go up to Europe in a cold frozen lands there and make some kind of real dark, heavy album. It'd be kind of cool,
Wear corpse
I also
paint.
look right, yeah. I did that when I was 13. Might as well do it again.
Right.
The double A battery bullet belt. Bring that back.
Nice.
But I also, look, always dream record with my idols, and some of them are getting old, especially with the passing of Eddie Van Halen. You kind of really like kind of, I hope I get to record one day with Ozzy or Bruce Dickinson or Rob Halford. Those guys are all in my bucket list, hopefully to do something, while they're still alive and while I'm still alive too. So that's, yeah. And the other cool thing I always kind of wanted to do, I don't know when I'm going to do it, because I'm a riff guy, right? I always loved riff my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd kind of be cool to make an album of riffs without vocals. And just bring all kinds of guys that make riffs, so, and then hopefully get a couple of legends in there, like Tony Iommi. It would be all fucking awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hatfield, or, dreaming big now, the big stuff. But right. just the idea of having a record that has no vocals, it's only fucking riffs from beginning to the end. That's pretty fucking cool, man. I know I would like to dabble my idea a little further on that, but it's a little bit more for the future.
Gotcha. Well, I know that we're running out of time, but I had two little quick questions. Do you have a guilty pleasure music wise that people wouldn't expect? Something not metal, something that you listen to that you like a Katy Perry or something, something like that.
Yeah. I like a lot of the 80s, kind of like. I don't even know what was it called. It was kind of like, I think it was gothic, right? Like The Cure. And,
Depeche Mode or something like that.
Not really Depeche Mode, but more like The Cure and Fuse of Nephilim and Killing Joke and
Killing Joke,
yeah, kind of like synthesizer, ambient. I was talking to my son about that actually, Igor, and he's really into all the heavy stuff. But I was like, showing him some of the like New Model Army and stuff, like he was like blown away about it, and like Sisters of Mercy. I used to wear a Sister of Mercy shirt when I was in Sepultura.
Nice.
That stuff's cool, and people don't not know that I like that kind of stuff. So I think it's cool to hear that.
Yeah, there's been a few newer bands that are kind of diving into that like dark gothy synthesizer world, like Perturbator and Health, and a couple of those groups like that are kind of bringing it back. So that's it's been cool to see as well. And then the last thing I had was, obviously the big news that I saw that you weren't expecting the reaction, but you cut your dreadlock off, man. How's it feel now that it's been a few days?
It's way better now. That thing was heavy and it was time to go. But yeah, it was kind of fun to see the riot reaction on the internet that kind of came after that. And it was kind of like some people were like, yeah, 2020, that's why Max cut his dreads,
right.
Because of 2020.
Because, this year's so bad.
It had really nothing to do with that. I was just done. I've been talking to Gloria about it for a long time, actually, for more than a year now that I was wanting to cut it. So it's finally done and move on, man. Like new things are approaching and we got to roll with it.
Right. Yeah, it reminded, I saw everybody freaking out. It reminded me of when Metallica cut their hair and everybody was freaking out about that. Come on, guys.
I know. Yeah. Like they say in Brazil, if hair was worth it would not grow on your asshole.
That's great. Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, you're going to lose your powers now. You can't write any riffs anymore. That was the dreadlock had all your powers of riffage.
Yeah. That's all bullshit.
Yeah, man. No, but, I want to thank you so much. I know we're out of time, but everybody that's listening, Reluctant Hero, Killer Be Killed, November 20th on Nuclear Blast. The social media for that, if anybody wants to follow the group, is just Killer Be Killed, right? At Killer Be Killed. Yeah,
as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. And, I recommend anybody that's a fan to tune into the Facebook, the Max Tracks. That sounds awesome. I'm going to start watching. I didn't know you were doing that, so I'm going to start watching that. And,
Killer, man.
Yeah, brother. Thank you so much. Like I said, it was an honor, and, it was great to have you on and talk for a little bit.
All right, brother. Nice talking to you, man.
Hey, muito obrigado, man.
De nada.